It is the day before Thanksgiving, so I'm prepping my funfetti cheesecake, which I make every single year. I feel like it's a foolproof recipe and you don't have to bake it, so it's a win-win. I make it the day before though because you do want to refrigerate it for up to 8 hours, so I just like to make sure it is nice and firm and that we have plenty of time. So I just whipped up 1.5 cups of heavy cream. I add it to my mixer, and then I have my immersion blender right here. You want to whip it up until it forms peaks such as whipped cream consistency. And then after that, you want to add 8 ounces of cream cheese. The recipe does call for 12 ounces, but I like to do 8 ounces. And technically, this recipe is for 1 funfetti cheesecake, but the filling for 1 is just way too much for me personally, so I make 2 out of it. I like to joke and say it's a low-calorie dessert if I do that. Just adding the cream cheese now. I know this is not aesthetically pleasing at all. That immersion blender is wild. I have it on the lowest power setting and it was like flinging everywhere, so that made a huge mess, but I just needed it for the heavy cream part. Now I'm just using a good old spatula, but if your mixer or immersion blender isn't crazy as mine, then I would say go ahead and use that. Tomorrow I'm gonna make homemade mac and cheese, so it's my first year making it. I did a sample run about a week or 2 ago just to make sure that recipe was good. I liked it, I just need to add a bit more salt. My parents liked it, so all is good. And then of course I'm making a charcuterie board, and then my funfetti cheesecakes, and then I just got like a frozen like chocolate silk pie. Now we're gonna add a cup of birthday cake mix. So I like to add a little bit more than a cup because I really like funfetti. So you can always adjust it to your liking. I kind of eyeball it, but it all turns out well. I mean, you can't go wrong with extra funfetti. You want to add a 1/2 cup of sugar. Once everything is mixed up, you want to disperse it into your pie crust. I just buy mine at the store already made just to make life easier, or you can always make your own with some crushed up graham crackers and some melted butter. As you can see, there's more than enough filling to make this into 2 pies, and then you want to add some sprinkles on the top. And once you've added your sprinkles, all you have to do is saran wrap it, put it in your fridge, let it sit for 8 hours so that way it's nice and firm, and you are ready to serve. So I absolutely love this recipe because you don't have to bake it. It comes out great every single time, and it's a fan favorite at Thanksgiving. It's officially Thanksgiving morning. We're gonna watch Friends as part of our Thanksgiving tradition. We like to watch the Thanksgiving episodes. I think tonight we're gonna start a new tradition and watch the Gossip Girl Thanksgiving episodes. And Ernie's making breakfast right now. And then I'm gonna, watch some TV, have some coffee, and then go ahead and start the mac and cheese. I was able to get a hold of the Biscoff Chobani coffee creamer, and it is delicious. So if you get a chance, definitely try it. Luckily, I've had luck finding it at Target. We're actually running pretty low on groceries, but this is what Ernie was able to make. He made a homemade cranberry sauce. Just kidding, that's strawberry jam.
And the turkey and everything on the other side of the table, the smell is just typical.
The stuffing. And Jenny, you have the sweet potatoes as usual. Eric, what's your tradition?
I don't think we've entered what's inside any Thanksgiving traditions.
Serena apologizes.
It is almost noon, so I need to hurry up and get ready. Ernie and I slept until 9:30 today, which is very rare, but I've been wanting to sleep in, especially with this colder weather, and I'm just so warm and cozy in my bed. I packed a lot of things I'm taking over to my parents' house last night, but I still need to make the mac and cheese. But I told them I'd be over like around 1 or 2, and I'm not gonna bake the mac and cheese here. I'm just gonna assemble it and then, pack the refrigerated and frozen things and then bring it over. So I think we should still be good, but I want to film, get ready. I'm still debating whether or not I want to wear my sweatpants over or like baggy jeans. We don't really dress up for Thanksgiving. We don't really do like a huge thing. It's usually just like my parents, Ernie and I, and the dogs. And we don't really do like the traditional foods. I think my dad's making fried chicken, pozole. Hopefully he makes a pozole this year. And then I'm making like mac and cheese, a charcuterie board, funfetti cheesecake, and I got like a frozen pie. But just keep everything super chill. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just about spending time with your loved ones. And honestly, I like not having to dress up or feel obligated to. It's just nice to rest on a busy day. Also, before we went to the East Coast, I knew we were gonna have very long days to make the most of our time out there. We were gone for a week. We had like one day in Salem, and then we decided to go to Boston one of the days, and then we had like 3-4 days in New York, and we're just trying to make the most of our time there, experimenting with like different like makeup combinations to make sure like my makeup lasts all day, because I knew it was gonna be like vlogging, wanted to take photos and such. So one thing I did differently is I noticed I had like a lot of patches immediately upon application, and I know I have dry skin, but I started using like the e.l.f. Holy Hydration Serum, letting that sit in like first thing in the morning. I'll take Cocoa Potty and everything, and then I'll go in with the First Aid Beauty Moisturizer. And then after that, I use, it depends what foundation I'm using, but either way, a hydrating primer, and I let that sit for a couple of minutes, because in the past I used to like apply everything on immediately, and I just felt like my skin was like too wet and I didn't fully absorb, so that's why I looked patchy. But that with the House Lab, oh my goodness, this foundation is amazing. Just with the Huda Beauty Powder, like I heard about the Huda Beauty Powder, but I was like, I cannot spend like 30-40 bucks on a powder. That's ridiculous. It is worth it, not like for every day, of course, unless like you need it for everyday use, but for traveling, for days where you don't have time like for touch-ups, that stuff offers coverage too. I absolutely love it, so definitely check it out if you haven't already. And the mini one, honestly, I wouldn't get. I got that in Boston because I forgot mine back home. I was like, oh my gosh, out of everything, like no, that is like the secret ingredient to making my makeup last all day and look flawless. I could barely fit my little like puff in there, let alone like a beauty sponge. And honestly, it's like a $10-15 difference for the big one, so I would say just get the large one, to be honest. I got this makeup palette from Dollar Tree, and they say you should like warm up your foundation first and like your concealer. So I just put my foundation on here, and then also it like evenly spreads across like your sponge and brush, instead of just like putting like one dab on here and then like this has like a lot of foundation, the rest has like less, if I'm making any sense. So it just evenly disperses your foundation so it looks nice and smooth. I've been having my concealer sit for a few minutes, whereas before I would immediately blend it. So I just kind of want it to get the most coverage. I know I've transitioned from like long form content to short form. Honestly, I just need to do that to prioritize my time. Also, with running a secondary channel, my Foodies in the Cities channel, it's a lot because we post 4 times a week on there. So having to edit those reels and captions, not only on Instagram, but on TikTok, and having to schedule it on YouTube, and along with my channel on here, it's a lot. And I do work a full-time job, and even though I do work from home, I'm on phone, so it's not like I can just like do whatever or film. Like if a call's coming in, I can't be filming or talking, so it's not that easy. And when we do have meetings, our camera needs to be on, so I literally can't do any of that. And I used to film on my lunches and breaks, but then I felt like I truly didn't get a break throughout the day. And then after work, I would film, edit, and like hardly have any quality times like family and friends. And especially on weekends, I would do like my hair and makeup. That would take like a good hour, set up my filming space and all that, and it just took away a lot of time from like me getting a break and with family and friends. I'm obsessed with this Ioni cream blush. I get it from Dollar Tree, but it is just so good. I have like almost every single color that they offer. I'm going to finish getting ready, and then Ernie and I are gonna go make some mac and cheese. Now I'm making the mac and cheese. It's 12:30 right now, so I think we'll be good on time. So the recipe is literally called the best homemade mac and cheese, so I'll have it listed down below. You want to start off with 6 tablespoons of unsalted butter and just have it melted in the pan. I have my sous chef Ernie right here. So first you want to have the butter completely melt, and then you're going to gradually add in a 1/3 cup of flour. And while the butter is melting, I want to share with you this cheese mix that I found, because the recipe calls for like 2 cups of cheddar, 2 cups of Gouda, 2 cups of Gruyere cheese, I think it's called. And I was thinking that's gonna be super expensive, especially Gouda. So I found this mix at Walmart. It was like $2 something a bag. You need 6 cups. So I thought that was a great deal. So super glad I found it because otherwise that would have been expensive, and like food is like so pricey these days. It's crazy. So the butter is melted, so now we're gonna add in the flour. Just dump the rest in there. Then you want to add 3 cups of whole milk. Then a cup of heavy whipping cream to thicken the sauce. You want to whisk it until it thickens up and there's bubbles on the surface. So about 2 minutes, the recipe says, and then you want to add salt and pepper. I did a trial run for this recipe about like a week or so ago. It turned out really good. I was just scared of adding salt because I tried the cheese on its own and it's pretty salty, but I definitely need to add more salt to the recipe. Once the sauce thickens, you want to add in 2 cups of cheese gradually just to thicken up the sauce. And then you want to add in 16 ounces of elbow pasta. I should have had the pasta boiling while I was making the sauce, but I was trying to film, get everything ready, clean up as I go, but it's okay. So we added the pasta to the cheese mix. You want to add half into your pan and then add 2 cups of cheese in between the layers, and then add the remaining half, and then add a blend of panko crumbs with Parmesan cheese. Put the oven at 350 and bake it for 30 minutes and then serve. I forgot to mention you need 1 1/2 cup of panko crumbs, and then 4 tablespoons of melted butter, and then half a cup of Parmesan cheese, and then a 1/4 teaspoon of paprika if you want. I hope you all had a great Thanksgiving and plenty of leftovers and time with your loved ones, and I will see you all in our upcoming videos. Bye everyone.